Hey, brand builders, I'm your host, Gigi, CEO and founder of the Era Vista Planner. And today we are taking a walk through the entrepreneurial jungle with CEO and founder Dee Kariuki of Kwamboka. And we are going to, of course, let our guards down, serve truth up while standing on business, the good, the bad, and the better, talking about everyone's favorite hot topic. Can you guess what it is? That's right. Money, 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 money. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey, brand builders. We're back again, okay? And we are in the entrepreneurial jungle. You feel it? Do you feel the heat, Dee? It is hot.
It's hot.
So we have an amazing guest today. I'm so excited because you have a wealth of knowledge that you are going to pour into all of our viewers. And this is Dee Kwamboka of Kwamboka, okay?
Thank you so much for having me, sis.
You're very welcome. And for those who don't know, because we have a lot of strangers, okay, in these podcasting streets, she focuses on art, fashion, and jewelry in African print. And as you know, I'm partial because all of our Aravistas know everything we do is always on card print. So we're on the same wavelength, the same vibe.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and get started. You ready?
Awesome. I'm ready.
Okay, so because, as I said before, there are strangers out here, we're going to get to know you in a very fun way, okay?
Yes.
We have a game.
Okay. I love games.
Me too. And it's called 30 Under 30.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to ask you up to 30 questions in 30 seconds.
Let's do it.
Okay? And the fun part about this is the guest with the most amount of answers at the end of the season will get a surprise.
Ooh, all right.
You ready?
Damn, I was
Get yourself ready.
Let me get ready.
Okay, all right. Now, producers are backstage. They about to count us in. You ready? All right. Hometown.
Nairobi, Kenya.
Birth order.
First.
Favorite color. Firstborn. Oh, like me. Favorite color.
Gray, blue, all of them.
Hidden talent.
I can sleep for hours and hours and hours.
Favorite animal.
Elephant.
Favorite food.
Ooh, food. Ugali.
City or beach.
Beach.
Favorite TV show.
Wow. Currently or like ever?
Ever.
Oh my God, that one's rough. Okay, let's come back to that.
Okay. Favorite movie.
Sis.
Oh.
Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
The Black Panther.
I love it. So how many did Dee get? I have to ask. How many did
was
you get?
that
About
30 seconds already?
Yeah,
That felt
that
like
was
3
it.
seconds.
About 7, 8.
I thought we were just getting started.
Awesome. That's okay. Listen, you did
No,
a great
it's all
job.
good.
You did a great job. So now we are going to jump into the brand story of Kwamboka. When did you know that you were about to traverse into these entrepreneurial streets?
Let me tell you, I just kind of fell into it. I didn't, I grew up with, go to school, get your career, get your life together, be this, be that.
African child, I know.
Yes. Firstborn at that. Let's not forget that part because it is really important to note that. So I am a CPA. I was in the accounting field, got my accounting degree, got my CPA, and that's just the route I was going. In 2019, I went back to Kenya. I try to go every April, as much as I can to visit. So we went to visit. I have a friend. Her name is Terry. She's an amazing seamstress, and she makes clothes for some of our family friends. She's made me clothes before. And I know we were just catching up, and she was telling me how her business wasn't doing as well. Back home, people really prioritize food. Like, there's so much more to prioritize than fashion, just, to be honest. So people are not spending money on clothes like that. So, her business is going a little bit slow. And if anybody knows me, for all that who know me, I am a very solution-oriented person, especially when it comes to my friends. Like, when someone's talking to me, even unsolicited, I'm always like, look, we can do this, we can do that. So the first thing I do...
A real friend, guys.
Oh, thank you, sis. So when I got back, I'm just like, rocking my outfits. Everybody's like, oh, where'd you get that from? And I'm just like, I can get you one made. So I started taking just custom orders. At this point, it's not even a business for me. I'm just getting her orders. And
That's
then
awesome.
we would ship them. And then, somebody would tell somebody else. And then it just became a thing. And I'm like, I'm spending a little bit too much time on this. And so I told you I was a CPA. I'm working. I ain't got no kids. These taxes are killing me. So one thing I know is being an entrepreneur, sometimes you can leverage that when it comes to, your taxes and things like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to turn this into a business because for one, I'm spending so much time on it. And for two, like this clothes are amazing. Like, this items are amazing. So that's just how it started, just to help a friend out. So I started just with a little bit of pieces of clothing. And then when I went back the next time, I just started linking up with different small creators, vendors, artisans in Kenya. So we started out with just the one person. That's in 2019. We're now in 2024. We have I call them business partners, because really, even though they are individual businesses, we work in kind of like a partnership type situation.
Absolutely.
So we're up to like 8 business partners, as I would like to call them. And, they are part of what keeps me like moving, just because to see all of the differences it's made in their lives, and just how grateful they are to have this partnership with us. There's days I wanted to quit, but just then, just right. But just knowing, not that they depend on me, but just knowing, this partnership is helping them flourish, it just encourages me to keep going. So that was how we started, just by trying to help out Terry, and then now we're just up to like this 8 partners.
And I think that's so important, because I'm sure a lot of our entrepreneurs have heard, if you identify a problem and you're able to address it with a solution, the sky is really your limit. So I think that's awesome. So you have been in business for 5 solid years.
It's about to be 5 years this July.
And went from 1 partner to now 8.
Yes, 7 of them based in Kenya, and we have one lady based in Ghana as well that we've partnered with recently. So
that sounds so wonderful.
Yes. You know why.
I do. We are fantastic. So take me through, I know you started with 1 and you ended up with 8. Take me through just a bit of some of the challenges you faced and how you've been able to overcome them. Not everything, because we're going to get down deep shortly.
Because we do not have enough time for everything, because we'd be here all day. Running a business is an adventure in itself. And it's literally challenge after challenge, just learning how to navigate it. But in the 5 years, I would say, I would tell you what my first challenge was. The biggest one was, we started in 2019. We're doing these pop-ups. We are meeting customers. And then we're just starting to, take off. Boom, COVID hits. Now we're on lockdown. Can't do pop-ups. Everything is shut down. So that was one of the biggest, I think, challenges I had to navigate as a business owner. Because now I'm just now what? So, thankfully, we do live in a tech world, so move to social media. That's how I actually got into Instagram and started doing our live shows and our live sales and things like that.
I love that. So you transitioned to going live to actually...
Yeah, because,
that's perfect.
Now you're home, you're not going anywhere, everything is closed. So we started doing some live sales. Shout out to Dominique of the Real Rich Naturals. She was the first person. We started doing a live together. So she's will sell her product, so I'll show a few products, she'll show a few products. I know a lot of people started doing that in the pandemic, but that's really what prompted us to start. We're not going out to meet customers, so let's jump and sell on live. So
I love it. I love it, because being able, I feel like the word is overused, but I'm going to use it now. Being able to pivot is so important, especially when you keep your business alive and afloat, and something that was not foreseen by any of us, right? 100%. So I think that's awesome. And I think that Dee said something super important. She was talking about her pop-up shops, right, which is vending. And you know why we're here, to make vending made easy. And we've talked ad nauseum in other episodes about why pop-up shops, why vending, why these pop-up markets are so important. Because you're able to increase your customer base, you're able to meet them one-on-one. Yes. I mean, tell us maybe 1 or 2 things that you find has been extremely impactful when it comes to the longevity of your business, when it comes to vending or pop-up shops.
Yeah, no, vending, pop-up shops have been honestly some of the most amazing way we've grown. For one, I tell people all the time, even I've been to pop-ups where I sold nothing. And a lot of people might find that discouraging. But when I tell you how inspired that made me, because people stopped at our table, talked about how amazing the products were, how beautiful they were. So even though you're not necessarily getting a sale, you're getting feedback about the products that you have. You're getting to meet customers, interact with them. So it's really, it's one of the highlights of our business. We don't have an actual brick and mortar yet. We do have a storefront out in Hyattsville, Maryland, where our friend, shout out to Ron, of Velvet Styles. He rents us a little space in his showroom. So if you are in Maryland, check us out. It's in Hyattsville. So it's really dope. But going back
drop
to
the name of it again.
Velvet Styles. It is in Hyattsville, Maryland. And check out our page. You'll find the address and all that good stuff out there. Yes. But no, vending is just a really good way, one, to meet your customers, get feedback about your products. And to me, that's the biggest one. It's just the feedback about the products because people are actually touching it, feeling it, as opposed to online where you kind of just seeing
guessing.
it.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
I love it. So, I mean, she's discussed so many things that are important, and I think I can't reiterate enough. If you are starting any kind of product-based business and you find that you don't know how to build up, whether it's your Instagram followers, your customer base, getting out there, as she's saying, to have people touch, feel, give feedback, and really pour into your business is so important. And not only because you want to be able to find customers, right? But you want to make some money, right?
Okay,
That's why you are here in business. You are here to make some money. And as Dee said before, she is a registered CPA, baby. So she is about to tell us all things. Get ready for it. Ready? Money, 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 money. Okay.
Hey, let's make some money.
She is coming.
Listen, we are not singers, but
Well, Dee, don't do me like that, girl.
Oh, my bad.
I sing a little song.
When I say we, I meant I.
So we're now going to jump into her area of expertise, okay? And she is going to talk to us about not necessarily making money, but how to track your money and how it's so the things that you need as a small business owner to make sure that you are on a solid financial foundation. So how did you, just to get started a little bit on the background of, I know that your parents told you it's, hey, college, degree, regular job.
Yes.
But what was your interest, even with that feedback that we all get, into going into that particular field?
So I don't want to be long-winded about it, but I came here to the United States when I was in high school. You had like a chance to choose a few electives here and there. So I had this accounting elective. I went to high school in Paterson, New Jersey. Shout out Paterson.
Okay, Pat.
John F. Kennedy High School.
New Jersey.
So accounting, yeah, I got into it. Like coming from Kenya, I really was a math girl. Like I loved math, but I didn't have enough guidance on what I can do with like a math degree. So a lot of people, when you say math, they would throw out accounting, even though kind of knowing both, they are really very different.
Right.
So anyway, so I took this elective, this accounting class as an elective. People were in the back playing cards, and like no one was paying attention to this man. And so it's kind of like he was tutoring me one-on-one. And the material just came easy to me. I was like, I get this stuff.
Right.
And so when it came to like picking a degree and going to school, everyone was like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna just try out accounting. And I enjoyed all my accounting classes. And so here we are.
Well, Dee, listen.
Here we are.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, because let me just say, I had to take one in grad school and it ate me up, honey. The first day I had to drop it. When they started talking about debits and credits, I said, you know what? Let me credit myself out of here. Let me find something else to do that will fulfill this math requirement. So listen, if it didn't come naturally to me, I'm gonna tell you that. So I'm glad it came naturally to you.
Oh man, but yeah, we all have our things that we kind of fall into. And that's kind of how I started into it. I didn't even really know like what life would look like as an accountant. That's a whole other conversation for another day, how the trajectory has happened, because I really, when it comes to work, I really have been blessed. I feel like I've kind of thrown forth, not even like work related. I started out as like a public accountant for a regional firm. And as I'm there, I was talking to like a recruiter, and she's like, well, what do you want to do with your life? At the time, I was like, I really just want to travel.
Yes.
And somehow, literally 2 weeks after that, I had an accounting job that enabled me to travel. So
I love it.
It's again, another whole conversation. But when it comes to just deciding what to do, it was just what came easy. I didn't really have a lot of options of like what I was trying to do. So I was just like, well, this is just respectability politics coming from an African household. I'm like, this is a respectable, career. It's not one of those where my parents are going to look at me sideways.
Right. I want to go into the theater.
Oh, girl, what?
I tried. They stopped me, but that's a different story too.
Yes. Even when we come down to my Kwamboka business, even starting that, I remember being like, well, you're going to start what? You're going to, African parents have this thing with, pride in themselves. And unfortunately, with like the old school mentality, there's just certain things attached to reputation or whatever. So my parent being able to be like, oh, my daughter is a CPA versus, oh, my daughter is selling clothes, or you
Right.
know how they would take it instead of like, oh, she's starting a business. Now they get it, you know, like they've seen how I've been able to grow and like
Right.
been able to help and like do stuff. So they get it. But like initially, I know there was like a couple side eyes, like, you about to start doing what?
What? I know. And I think that's so important to talk about that, because there are so many entrepreneurs who may be in the same position, maybe trying to figure out how their careers actually can cross over to their gifts and what they're passionate about.
Right,
and I think watching you and hearing the background of your story is able to give them hopefully encouragement, ideas, and ways that you know that you can bridge the gap, right?
Yes, and honestly, stop worrying. Okay, we curse on here. Stop worrying about what people.
Be free.
Stop worrying what people are gonna think about you, and this includes your parents. Like, really look inward and think about what fulfills you. And listen, this life is short. Do you?
That part, right? So let me ask you, what do you think is the biggest misconception, right, that business owners have about managing their finances based upon your experience?
I mean, I think a lot of times people are looking at it as, and I'm gonna talk, I think, about product-based business at this point, because that's what my business is, and that's what I can garner experience from. I think a lot of times we're just like, oh, I bought this thing for $2, I sold it for $4, I've made money. I think that's an incorrect way of looking at it, because in you bringing this product to your market, your audience, there's so much that you have to go through. People are not putting into consideration the time that they're using to source this product, the time that you're using to market this product, the hours that you're using to be on social media for this product. So I think, and sometimes it's a hard thing to like conceptualize, you know, like talk about me in particular, like I am a generally very giving person. So sometimes it's really hard for me to be like, oh my God, I know if somebody goes to Kenya, they can buy this thing for $10. Here I am pricing it at $80, and sometimes like I start to kind of like question myself and question if that's even like a moral thing. But like if you really think about all the steps that is taken to get this product to you, it is being handmade by someone. It is being shipped here. Pictures are being taken. There's my time. There's the pictures, there's the social media, there's the website cost. So I think a lot of people are, you know, and to segue right into keeping financial records, I think a lot of people are not really looking at the big picture and just really seeing like how much money, time, resources they're spending to get a product ready for the market.
So let's talk about the financial picture. What is it specifically, if you had to name maybe 3 to 5 things that business owners need to make sure they have, whether it's the type of documentation or software they should invest in, like what are the fast 5, quick and dirty they need?
Yeah, so from an accounting perspective, I know a lot of people want to go and get like ERP systems. If you're, you know, starting out, I always say, you know, just think of your business as big as you know, as where you can fathom it, right? And start to run it that way. So really simple mistakes. First things first, as simple as opening a bank account that is for your business expenses. Stop commingling things, stop pulling things out of your personal, create, you know, like have that bank account, because then it is even easy. Let's say you're not doing your financials on a monthly basis, but if you have all your transactions in one place, it's just a lot easier for you.
Let me ask, do you have any particular institutions that you say are better for someone who's starting out as opposed to, you know, one over the other, or you think it doesn't matter, just open an account?
When it comes to institutions, I cannot advise you on that. You know, from what I've heard, like I've heard credit unions are really good, are like better than like our big banks. So that's a personal choice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I bank with one of the bigger banks. I have my issues with them, but I don't endorse them by any way. So I'm not gonna come here and be like, go bank with so and so. But definitely try to have a separate, you know, just separate your business expenses from your personal expenses. There are times where you might spend your personal money on business stuff. Make sure you are recording that. So which that goes into my next sentiment. The document that is going to tell you about the financial health of your business is your profit and loss statement, also known as your income statement. It sounds daunting, but this is literally just a list of all of your expenses that you are you are using for the business. Literally anything that you can justify as a business expense needs to be on here. And you don't have to go looking for like a big system to track your expenses. There are things like Excel out there. There are a lot of free. I mean, go on Google. There's a lot of free free resources that you can use. I personally use an Excel spreadsheet. I love Excel.
Me too. I use Google Sheets still. Yeah,
Google Sheets, Excel. I mean, so because sometimes when people are starting businesses, you have all these people telling you to get all these fancy things, but start where you're at. Start where you're at. Meet yourself where you're at. So Excel to me has been a really good resource. So on there, you want to dump every expense that's been anything that's from your website, from your inventory, like any expense that's related to your business. You are shipping, and then your cell phone bills, because you use that for your business, right? If you have an inventory business like myself, I have a storage room in the house. It's 20% of my mortgage on my P&L.
Listen, so, that people are sleeping on that. Did you hear what she said? She said 20% of her mortgage because she uses that portion of the home to house her products. That's
house my products, have my desk with my laptop, so all of that. If you have a home office, all of those things. So it is the trip I take to Kenya to go meet with my vendors and go check out product. All of that stuff are business expenses. So there's a way you could get your business to work for you. But going back to the financial health of your business, I was saying we all start our businesses regardless of, the purpose that we are fulfilling, the issue that we are fixing. At the end of the day, you're in business to make money. If we want to just keep it, whether it's a nonprofit, like everybody, at the end of the day, we live in a society where money is what's
right.
I have a very nuanced relationship with money because I have my thoughts about it, and we all know the evil sides of money, but we're over here talking about our small businesses and how we are sustaining our businesses. So your financial health of your business is what is telling you how your business is looking like. So you don't want to ignore that, is what I was getting into. At any time, you kind of want to go, you want to know if you're making money or if you're losing money. And that entails you recording the money coming in, so all your revenues against all of your expenses. And that's exactly what a P&L is. It's a profit and loss statement. This is money coming in. This is everything that's going out. And then this is the bottom line. And that's, when you're, if you're in your red or in your black.
Come on. Come on. So what I'm hearing, just to recap really quickly, make sure you have an isolated account, that we are not commingling funds in, and that you are focusing on your P&L sheet, your profit and loss sheet, or your income statement.
Yes.
Right? Either one. Yes. And what are some other things that those are the two most basic, you're saying?
Yeah, those are, I think, the two that I would encourage everyone to at least start with. Okay. Now there's other nuanced things. You can do your budget at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the month.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How is budgeting important for a business? Right? We already know why, I would think.
Yeah.
But I guess speak to the why and the how they are able to do it in a way that's going to not be daunting for them.
Yeah, I mean, again, really simple. I'm just gonna come from like really simple times. I sit down, I say, okay, this month's coming up. What am I trying to do this month? Okay, so I have a budget for sales. Like I want to sell 5,000 this month. How much do you want to spend on marketing? Much do you? So you kind of list down the things and how much you anticipate to spend. But then again, a budget is kind of like, this is my wish list, or this is what. And then there's the actuals that you actually
what you're allocating
exactly
to the expense.
And what's really good about that is it can kind of tell you about what your business is doing. You can see, if I spend 100 on marketing, how does that relate to my sales?
So important.
You kind of start doing some ratios to kind of help you see where should you allocate more, where can you allocate less, where can you cut funds, just and kind of having that budget and kind of seeing the actuals, it helps you create a roadmap for your business, because you're like, oh, maybe when I do more marketing, I see more sales. I need to market more. If I do more that, so just kind of lining the relationships between the expenses and then
what you're actually spending
or
bringing in. And I can't recall the person's name. I just came across this the other day, but they talk about mastering your data, right? And you can't master it if you haven't written it down. You haven't been able to actually go through and figure out, okay, what am I doing? What's going on? So that's essentially what Dee is saying, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of small businesses just wait till tax time and they're like, I'm just doing this so I could do my taxes. But I think that is, in a way, like just living in survival mode, because I think it's just important to be like, okay, last month, and it helped for me. It kind of helps me see where I want to pick up some slack. I'm like, damn, this month I only made this.
Right.
Let me see what I can do.
Let me try and double
month.
up. Let me see what's going on here.
Exactly. So it gives you that little push when you actually see it in black and white,
I love
red.
it. And red. So the top 3 again, we're going to call that our top 3. Make sure that you have your isolated account, no commingling. You have your income statement and you have your budget. Those are important. I know I heard Dee say you can look at it monthly, quarterly, as long as you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Let's start there. It needs to be reviewed.
Yeah, I would always recommend a quarterly view, because monthly sometimes I know life gets busy. A lot of entrepreneurs are also people that work a 9 to 5. Well, again, let me speak for myself. I'm speaking for all of us, but I work a 9 to 5. So I think it's nice to see it on at least a quarterly basis, because you don't want to wait too long. And I think, quarterly, that's 4 times a year. Now, if you have a lot of transactions, honestly, I would suggest to go on a monthly basis, because if your volume is big, you don't want to let things linger. You want to be able to catch things and mitigate those before
it gets
shit
crazy.
Gets real.
So let me ask you, what is one strategy as we wrap up this particular segment where you would say, okay, a business owner may be struggling with those things. What strategies can they put in place to make sure they're addressing all of those things that we discussed?
I think if you're struggling, and I struggled with even keeping my financials, let me be honest, like I was getting caught up in doing too much. But I think it's just a matter of prioritizing, what is important to your business. And I unfortunately think like just knowing how your business is doing is really important. So I think it's just a matter of prioritizing it. And then if you're in a position to not be able to do it yourself, just seek, there's so many resources out there. There are free resources, there are paid resources, but just meet yourself where you're at and get help. Like ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help.
None.
And that's something I'm learning also in my entrepreneurship journey, because I'm one of those, again, firstborn daughter. Let me do everything on my own. So asking for help when you need it, especially in areas that are not your strong suit.
I think that's so important. And what I'm hearing is when you prioritize, and maybe because I like to plan, guys, as you know, but making sure you make it something that is on your calendar that you're able to do. Maybe set aside 30 minutes to an hour.
Exactly.
Just to review, and if, like you were saying, if you feel overwhelmed by doing it monthly, then starting quarterly, and that way at least you're taking the time, setting time aside for your business to make sure that you're checking the financial health of it.
Yeah, awesome. If you think about this, even the smallest things, when you go to Shark Tank, what are they asking you about? A lot of times they'll ask you about your product, but really for them to invest, they want to know your financial
Are you
stuff.
making money?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I love it. And I think that is, I think that's good for y'all. If you need more information, listen, you can hit Dee in the DMs. Maybe she'll answer, maybe she won't, because she's a busy woman, okay?
I do love being a resource for people. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
So if you do have questions, reach out to me. Just be patient with me. I might not get back to you right away now. But, I just think, I would love to be a resource if you have any questions. I don't mind answering questions.
So you hear that? I know you're trying to see her Instagram at the bottom of the screen. Follow, of course. And if you have any questions, hit her up. You never know what kind of collaborations can come from just a simple DM. So I love it. Hey, Aravistas, Gigi here. I am thrilled to announce the debut of our 2024 Celebrate collection. We have been on quite the journey. We started with self-care. We moved into inspiring ourselves and others. We've been our most creative selves, and we've walked in excellence. And now we are celebrating your divine purpose. There is no one on earth who walks like you, talks like you, or shares any of your divine gifts. And it's time for us to celebrate all of your unique traits. I cannot wait for you to see our 2024 Celebrate collection. Happy planning. We're going to talk about something that I think all product-based businesses have a lot of experience with, right? So Dee has all these awesome products. She goes to Popup Shops. She has her site. So you are interacting with your customers on a fairly regular basis, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So,
Shout out to y'all.
yes, you're the ones who keep everything moving.
Yes.
So now we love our customers. So this segment is not for the ones we love. We love everyone, but it's not for necessarily for you guys. This segment is called Umbrella because we are bringing the shade, baby. I don't think that we talk about this enough in entrepreneurship, right? Like the need for good customer service we often hear about. But on the flip side of that, you can really encounter some monstrous is too strong, some interesting clients.
Man,
right?
listen.
interesting customers. And I don't think that we talk about how to navigate through those experiences enough, right?
Yes.
So I want you to tell me about one of the most challenging experiences that you had with a customer or two. I know you got some good stories, girl.
Girl, I do got a few. I mean, our products are really great, so we don't have a lot of those. No. But sometimes it's not about the product. Sometimes it's just about the pricing, y'all. Sometimes people are just who they are. The first really crazy story I had with a customer. So I shipped this customer her item, and this is when I was using my home address to run my business. Don't do that, y'all. Get your PO box, get you some other stuff.
Don't let them know where you live.
So I sent a package. The first package, she really loves it. She's like, "This is amazing. Thank you so much. I want to get another one for my." I think it was a sis-off friend, whatever. So I was like, "Oh, great, thank you so much. I do have a few more left in stock." So I send the invoice, she pays, I ship it. That Friday, I decide I remember it was the Friday because I was driving home to Jersey to see my parents. I'll never forget. I was like, okay, I'm going to have a little sale for the weekend since I'm traveling, whatever. So if you shop today, because I can't ship till I get back, shipping is free. This lady proceeds to hit me up, and she's like, well, I just bought my stuff yesterday, so can I get my the $8 back for shipping? So again, first of all, no, you can, but like, sometimes this was back when like I was still like a thirsty business owner, so I'm like just trying to excel by any means. You want 50% off to buy it? Sure.
We've all been there.
So I'm like, sure, I'll get you the $8. So I didn't have access to my laptop to like run the refund or whatever. And I tell you, this lady's talked to me all weekend for $8, like to the point where I was like, just send me your Cash App. I'll just send it there and forget about it.
So was she calling you? Emailing you?
Literally harassing me on IG, sending me DMs, all this stuff. So I sent her the money. Driving back, I guess she gets the product, and she's like, this is just not the same quality as the one I bought. And I'm like, ma'am, it is the same, like literally exact thing. Let me tell you, this lady threatened to drive to my house. Because her address was in Alexandria. Oh, actually, we are in Alexandria. It was right here. I don't live far from here. And the next day when I opened up your box, she literally was like, went in and how she was going to drive over. And this whole time, I'm trying to be like, I'll take it back. I swear it's the same, But I don't know what kind of day she was having, but
she tried to take it out on you.
That was wild. And as a person that has like some forms of anxiety, like I was just like,
I mean,
all
that's a
the
scary
time,
thing.
I'm like, are you gonna? And when I tell you I want to open PO box the next day, because I was like, oh, people are gonna threaten to pull up. Like,
I gotta get out. That. We can't have this.
I can't do this. So so please don't use your home addresses for shipping. I know it shouldn't be something to worry about, but
no, and unfortunately, like you have to, because people are they're a bit unhinged these days. So you have to, and ma'am, now you know who you are, I'm sure. If you needed a Chick-fil-A meal that bad, all you had to say was say that. You ain't to harass her for $8. That was too much, sis. That was too much. But I'm glad that worked out.
She got blocked, so she probably not seeing this. It's cool. I usually really don't resort to blocking, but she got blocked.
Well, and I think let's be honest here. The idea that the customer is always right? It's great in theory, but the fact of the matter is there are people who will overstep boundaries, and we are people, and we are allowed to have boundaries. And if someone needs to get blocked, then
you just block him. Here's your $40. Have a nice life. You're not gonna stress me over $8, ma'am. I am so sorry.
No, right. And you know what I love? I love the fact that you even address the fact that when you're a fledgling entrepreneur, you really just want to make the sale.
Yeah.
It's to happen to everyone. So
Yeah.
I think being able to now look back and reflect, 4 or 5 years later and say, maybe I should have maybe traversed it differently, or what could I have done differently, I think is important, because as you grow, your relationship with your customers, it ages well, we hope, and there are so many different things that you take into account. So even in that situation, situations that came after, if you were to go back and really give that information to someone else, what is it that allows you to continue, even when people try you, to make sure their interactions are positive? Like, what is in the back of your mind that keeps you going forward, even in the midst of those things?
Honestly, I think it's just who I am as a person. I am a very patient person. I try to be kind. I try to move with love. So a lot of times when people come at me sideways, like, I usually step back and be like, try to see it from their point of view. Like, did I do something? But like you said, a lot of times people are unhinged. So the good thing about aging is really being able to like know myself and be confident in how I address people. So a lot of times, even when people come at me with disrespect, a lot of time I'm not exchanging that. Like, you're getting blocked, or that's just not the energy
that you're on.
I exist in. Exactly. So, fortunately for me, I haven't had a lot of those issues. Honestly, my customers are amazing. Some of them sometimes get me emotional in how they, slide in my inbox and like talk about me. So, yeah. So those are very far in between. So, fortunately, a lot of experiences I've had are really positive, and I think that just comes off with who I am as a person.
And I think that's so important. I'm going to leave our entrepreneurs with this. I heard someone say that entrepreneurship is almost like a marriage because it reflects who you are. And so any kind of unhealed traumas and all of that can really show up in your business. And one thing that Dee said was, as an individual, she moves with love, she moves with kindness, she moves with compassion. And that's what is evident in her business. So that's really important to take a look at as an entrepreneur. Why are you in the game? What are you in the game for? How can you make sure that you are always showing up as your best self? So look at yourself. It's important because that is what dictates your business and its practices. So now we're going to go into something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs are actually scared to talk about. And our next segment is called In the Red, okay? Because as an entrepreneur, we have feast, which is what everyone sees, right? That's when we're really gonna post all of our customers on our story.
That's when reviews.
All of that, right? But on the flip side of that, there's feast and there's famine, right? So there's so many different ebbs and flows when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I don't think that we pull back the veil enough to talk about those things because, as we say all the time, I think the average span is like 5 years before a company can really begin to make money. So those of you who are starting, like, just remember that if you're not at the point yet where you see massive profits, it's actually normal. So don't let that deter you. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, when is a moment or a season where those numbers were looking wild and not in a good way?
Honestly, like we talked about, we are within our first 5 years. So we're literally in that period that she's talking about, a period of trying to figure out like what's moving, what's not moving, what we're bringing back, what we're not bringing back. But I think the first moment I would really think about is just that in the beginning. So when we started out, like I said, we kind of started out strong. So at this point, I was living in Florida. So weather is great. We're outside doing pop-ups.
Every day, just enjoying yourself.
Everybody's loving the items. We're growing our customer base. Now I'm like, oh, this business is gone boom. Again, COVID boom. So 2020 was a very interesting year for our business. You're going on live. At that point, you have 300-400 followers because you just started your Instagram page. You're on live talking to you. I was literally selling stuff to myself. Is there like one person coming for a few minutes, leave out?
We're like, where are you going? Come back.
So yeah, there was the point I was like, oh, maybe I should just close this business. Like, what am I even doing? At that point, but honestly, I can't even tell you what kept me pushing. I think it is just, for one, seeing Terry's business revive itself. For her son coming to black, even though us over here was kind of a little bit on the red, but just those few things that we ordered to kind of start the business, because we did like a little bit of a bulk order, kind of pumped her up. And then towards the end of that year, she was actually able to hire somebody. I was like, wait, are we creating jobs?
That's amazing.
Like, and again, sometimes, people are like, oh, and I'm like, look, it could be one person. Like, I'm the kind of person that's celebrating all the wins. So,
so important too.
Yes, I'm like, wait, are we creating jobs? Like, what's going on? So just with that happening, and then during that COVID time as well, just back in Kenya, we got linked to like a community. We call it like a community project. So we had like these older ladies. So if you ever shopped with us, all of our things come in this reusable Ankara baggies. So that was our first community project. So it was during COVID. All these people had lost their jobs. People are not working. So and we continued doing those because that's when they started. Because initially you was just getting your stuff in a little flyer with a little plastic bag
and calling it a day.
Yeah,
taking it.
So so just seeing those things kind of excited me. I was like, oh, we could really do a lot, you know, like so it kept us moving. But our P&L was looking real red because at that time we are not, we're still paying for the website. You're still having to pay for all these things, but you're selling one thing a month, two things a month.
So I know that you were talking about how Terry was seeing an uptick and she was moving in the black when even in the midst of everything that was going on, you were slightly in the red. What for you turned the tide in that particular season?
So they started clearing a little bit of like the COVID restrictions.
Okay.
Or again, I was in Florida at the time, and when in Florida
was open, baby. They were open. Okay.
We were kind of just doing our own thing. So we had we call them like COVID circles, right? So it was like just the 5 of us hang out, but like it's just us, but everybody was like in 10 circles without telling people.
Right.
So within that, I would host just girls at the house. And listen, even up to this day, nobody comes to my house and lives without something. Okay,
yes,
you don't live
that's
here
how
with
you
something.
do that. Yes.
Yes, I was just hosting my girlfriends, and they'll come over, and I'd be like, "Yeah, look at this shirt," or I would always wear something, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's cute." I'd be like, "I got a couple more in the back. One in your size."
Yes.
So I just kind of started doing that. And then they would just be like, oh my God, my girl's been looking for. So like my friends literally would I was delivering all over St. Pete, Tampa, just taking sweatpants, joggers, sweatshirts to people. And that kind of turned it around for us, like just by word of mouth, and it just kind of started going around. So it was awesome. Shout out to my girls.
Yes, let's dig into that for a second. Ingenuity is so important. So instead of just saying, oh, this is what's going on, things are not picking up, I don't know what to do. No.
I told you, I'm a solution-based person.
You have to be a solution-oriented person. Okay, what do I have? I have my house. What do I have? I have my friends. My friends have friends, and their friends have friends.
Their friends got friends.
That's it. Let's get them in here. Let me get some small bites, some meat pies, some ginger ale, some
and really, that's what it was. Some drinks.
Come on.
And it wasn't like come shop. It literally was like come hang. But then it would just be like,
it would turn into come shop.
Yeah, it would be like, let me show you these things that came. And then,
I love it. And what is the most important lesson you learned during that time?
I mean, like you mentioned, just the importance of being able to pivot when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So now we're going to take it from that portion, right? Because again, we're peeling back the veil. So we're talking about some real things here.
Yeah.
So we talked about how you came out of the red, but there are times, even when you're not in the red, where we make decisions for our business that may be great.
Yes.
And may not be great. And that may set you a little bit down bad, okay? So tell me an instance where it could have been, whether it was an inventory situation, whether it's a shipping delay. There's so many things that can happen when you're dealing with a product-based business.
Yes.
Where something that you did or didn't do had Kwamboka down bad.
Yes. I'm actually talking about something that just happened this week, because when we talked, I had something else in mind, but y'all, so I have a customer. She had so sometimes I do some custom orders, especially for those, those customers that have been with me from the start.
OGs,
yeah, which that's how we started. Like, hey, can you make me this? Like, here's a picture I saw. What do you have going on? So one of my really good customers had a custom order. We done got everything made on time, everything shipped on time. I get this message from DHL. I really want to cuss them out right now, but I won't. So I got this message from
Whatever
DHL.
you did to D. Fix it.
Okay. Count your days, DHL. But so I got a message from DHL and it's just kind of like, hey, your package is being held. It's custom clearance, this and the third. You need to send all this documentation. They had me sending like what's in the box, what's the value of each item. So we're working with them, sending all this stuff back and forth. So a week goes by and I'm still like, so what's going on with my package?
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, send this other documentation. So long story short, just on Thursday, they sent me a message and they're like, oh, your package is ready to go, but you owe $55. And I was like, for what? Right. And they're like, well, you owe this $55. And I'm just not paying to just pay y'all. So I was like, I'm giving them a call. It was pretty late, so I called Friday. Okay. Girl, why I call all of a sudden you owe $385?
Now, how do we get from 55 to 300 something? What are you talking about,
Let
friends?
me tell you what they told me.
Okay.
Oh, it's storage fees. Did I ask you to hold my package?
Why didn't you just give it to me when I asked you?
It's a storage fees. So like I literally had to get the phone call escalated to 3 different people for them to even drop this additional $330. The 55, they were just like, since U.S. Customs had to open my package and inspect it, there's a clearance fee and it's on me. First of all, isn't that their job to like open the packages?
Right.
And see. So if they opened, they didn't find anything, I guess if they were looking for something. Just because you opened and had to repackage it, why do I have to pay for that? Right. So little things like that, just get frustrated. Meanwhile, the customer's frustrated.
Because now we're talking days and days and days and days. Weeks.
That was like 3 weeks.
Oh,
the
wow.
whole thing, like since it started, and I'm just sending documents and following up, and then all of a sudden it's like you owe us money, and then calling.
That's
and
too much.
This lady had an event to go to.
Oh no.
So it's just things like that. And thankfully, again, these are customers that have been with me for a long time. Shout out to y'all for offering me grace. Some of y'all, but at the end of the day, I still feel like I failed my client or my customer. So things like that. A lot of things are out of our control, honestly, and they do happen. And again, I appreciate those customers that do give us grace, but in a situation like that, I couldn't even fix it. You know, as a fixer, I couldn't even fix it.
As they say, it was above you.
It was above me. So
you touched on some really important things, right? That let's go back and like really revisit them and break them down, because it could be happening to so many entrepreneurs who are watching right now. Like even the shipping carriers you use, right? Like a lot of those can have a negative impact and it's completely out of your hands. There's nothing that you can do. Like looking at that, looking at how it impacts your business, you may need to pivot and make some changes there. Just being aware of time frames, things like that, right? That can really impact you. And it's beyond our control. Yeah. So what is some advice that you would give to an entrepreneur that may have made a decision in maybe a carrier, maybe in a vendor, and things are not looking good? What advice do you have to help them pivot and kind of escalate themselves out of that situation?
I mean, honestly, it's just like anything else, right? You can only control what you can control. So for things that you can't control, obviously communication for me, like, is really key. So I was able to communicate with my customer and really explain to her what was going on. Because, initially, I was kind of holding off, like, I'm gonna get this right. Like, it's still gonna make it here. But of course, realizing they had an event to go to, they have to find something else to wear. Like, I didn't want to wait till last minute to be like, oh, your stuff is not gonna make it. So it just situation based, right? Depends on what situation you're going through. But I think you can only control what you can control. Whatever you can control, just communicate to whoever it's gonna affect. And sometimes you just gotta take an L, man.
And that's real. That's real. So we've talked about so many different things. We talked about customers who can be challenging. We talked about times when you may be in the red. We talked about things that may have us down bad, and now we're bringing it full circle. Because entrepreneurship, right? We do it because we love it, not because we have to, or we wouldn't do it, right? So what is it that keeps you going and propels you forward even through all of these challenges that I think every single entrepreneur faces?
Yes, like I said, I'm very strong in the purpose of my business, which is really uplifting these entrepreneurs back home in Kenya and now in the continent as a whole. Like I said, we do have a lady from Ghana that we've been working with lately. That's been really great. So just kind of honing into the purpose of what our business is, just seeing seeing it go from Terry to like these 8 people that we work so closely with, really does push us. And then just the relationships that I've built, like being an entrepreneur, like I've honestly, so the one thing or something people don't tell you, sometimes you do kind of lose friends or your relationships change as you start.
That's important.
You become an entrepreneur, your time is just different, your priorities are different. At least for me, they were. So some relationships did change, but in the same frame, I have gained some amazing relationships as well from just being an entrepreneur, with other entrepreneurs, with customers. So those I really do cherish, and it's something that has been as a result of this business. The impact that it's making back home. Terry went from just being her. Now she occasionally gets part-time help depending on how many orders we have. She has 2 full-time people that work with her.
Awesome.
The other lady that does our bags has a full staff. So knowing that there are people that kind of depend on us, in a certain way, like just keeps me. It keeps me motivated, and it keeps me going just to see all of those things happening. A new thing that wasn't even in the picture when I started this business, honestly, is me trying to retire. The more this business, the more this business keeps going, I'm like, this business is run from back home in Kenya, and I know I can't afford to retire here in the U.S., and I'm trying to retire like yesterday.
That makes 2 of us.
So the one thing that has, my mind has been going is like, hey, I could literally go run it from Kenya. Yeah. So it's giving me a new push to like really push, grow, and hopefully in 5 years I'll be living my dream on my little farm in the countryside.
And then I'm gonna come visit you because we're gonna be in Costa Rica and Ghana.
Yes.
We're going back and forth, and I'm gonna come see you in Kenya.
Yes.
Same.
And y'all gonna be like, you know what? She said that on Vendmae's Brand Builders Podcast, and now she over here. Like, you heard it here first.
Yes.
This is how my dreams manifest. I just put them out there and then I work.
The work.
Oh yeah.
Super, super important. So what I really heard that I hope all of our entrepreneurs are taking away is purpose and impact. And the last thing, which I think is very important, that I also don't think we talk about enough, is your lifestyle. What is it that you want for your life? So those 3 things are what I hear keeps Kwamboka going. I absolutely love it. And we're going to end on a fantastic note because Dee has mad gems. And I hope every single gem that you drop, that all of our entrepreneurs who are watching pick them up. So now we are going to end with the Vendmae tip of the day. So it could be something that you wish you had known as an entrepreneur when it comes to dealing with finances, or something that you want those entrepreneurs coming behind you to be cognizant of, or even outside of the realm of what we discussed.
Yeah.
Something that they need to know to make sure that they are successful moving forward.
Wow. You know what? There's a lot that could be said, right? Like, of course, take care of your finances, like we talked about. Again, on top of your purpose, you're in the business to make money. So that's important. But I really just kind of want to end it with like a personal mantra or like a life mantra that I follow. It's something really simple, but I think it could be applied into entrepreneurship. It could be applied into your personal life. It could be applied just anywhere. So this is the mantra. I read it somewhere a few years ago and it stuck with me since, okay? So it is: nothing is personal, nothing is perfect, and nothing is permanent. So think on that.
Yes, I love it. That gives you the ability to traverse all of life's journeys, I think.
Absolutely.
I think that's fantastic. And so for all of our entrepreneurs and just those who are viewing, you've come to the end of the podcast and we have a surprise for you. So now, don't go and try to copy me, okay, guys? But I have been gifted, look, this is so cute, my Kwamboka. Now, explain, what I call it? Is it a mini purse? Is it a bag? Like, tell me what you would call it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So this is our dada. Dada is sister in Swahili, D-A-D-A. So this is our dada mini anchor purse. And it's just super, super cute.
It is.
It has a little magnetic clasp right here. And it comes with an adjustable strap as well, so you can do a crossbody situation or a shoulder situation, and it fits all your essentials for real. I think every time I put this on the gram or anywhere, I usually say small bag, big vibes, because
I love it. Yes.
But yeah,
Yes,
I'm
it
glad
is.
you love it, sis.
I don't just like it. I love it, as you said. And you too. Now get you a different color. Don't copy off
Yes, we
me.
do have it in different
I was gonna
colors,
say.
and we do small batch production since we're a small business, so we don't usually have like hundreds of an item. So like if anything, we'll get like 15 or 20 made of each color, and then we try to rotate them out so you have variety and y'all not walking around with all the same bags.
I was gonna say then you're one of one.
Exactly.
Okay? Which is what we all are as
Yes.
singular individuals. So you have a coupon code for us.
I do.
Drop the name of the coupon code so they are able to go and get not only this, but all the other wonderful items that you have online.
Yes. So initially I was coming in, when we had this conversation, y'all was going to get 10%. But I love my fam here at Vendmae, so we're going to give y'all 15%.
Yes.
It is only going to be valid for a week from the day this episode drops, a week into that. And it's going to be Vendmae, VENDMAE 15. So Vendmae 15, and that's where you get your 15% off on Kwamboka.com.
Awesome. So make sure you go online. As you see, you will be able to take a look at the site. Use your code. We'll send reminders so that as the time wraps up, that you're not left in the dust. Okay, you're going to need that percentage off, all right? And don't buy one thing either.
Okay,
Fill up your cart. Fill it up, baby.
Yes.
Fill it up. So, brand builders, that is all the time we have for today. I'm your host, Gigi, and of course, we have Dee of Kwamboka, and my hope is that you have loved traversing the entrepreneurial jungle with us. We didn't keep it too hot. We gave some gems, all right? And we opened up.
I survived, y'all.
You survived.
survived.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we even ended, can you just give them a little vibe with the top? I had to. Yes. Show the arms.
Thank you, sis.
Give them the arms.
Yeah,
Shake the arms a little bit.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
I just had to. I was like, I can't end without even like shouting it out. I love it.
Thank you, sis.
It's so unique. I think it's adorable. You know, we came, we saw, we conquered, we let our guards down, we served truth up, okay? And we talked about entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, and the better. We don't say ugly.
Okay.
And the better. So we hope that you've enjoyed every single moment. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave some love in the comments. Do not forget to follow Dee. You'll be able to see all of her socials beneath, and we will see you next time.